And then he goes off of that rhythm and he starts to do different things. The jab really just stabilizes the opponent. That would be a key. He doesn't really have that jab. I think that, to say 3 keys, maybe 1 would be aggressive, continue to be yourself. Can't change who you are, and be responsible defensively. Yeah, he keeps his hands up really well. So I do think that a lot of what Keith throws could get parried off by the hands of Brock. But I think more than anything, he's got to be aggressive. Yeah, he's got to be himself. Y'all see me say this once before that I felt that he would beat him. Before the Murtazaliev fight, definitely things were kind of swaying for me. Keith had came down with another injury, and it's like you can't keep getting these injuries. If you're healthy on fight night, how healthy are you going to be through the entire fight? So even with this fight, there's the possibility of Keith possibly getting hurt. But I think that between Keith's inactivity and the way the last fight for Tim went, it's kind of 50-50. We'll have to analyze that question after this fight and after Tim fights Joey.
What sort of Keith Thurman are we going to get? How far do you think he's gone from the guy who fought barriers?
Yeah, I honestly think the best version of Keith we saw was the Keith that fought me, the Keith that fought Danny. I think he had some injuries in his fight with Danny. But I think that those are the 2 best versions we saw. The version of Keith that we saw with Manny, we saw him get dropped in the first round, and Manny had the whole first half of that fight and kind of pulled back, or a little older himself, a little long in the tooth, and Keith kind of stayed in there with him. So I really don't even think that was the best version of Keith. And the fight that he had with Mario was, points wise, it was one-sided, but Mario made him work every round, and then he had that infamous body shot, that Keith seems to get hit with damn near every fight. So there's a key for you. You got to go to the body. You go to the body of the old man, you break him down. So I think the best versions of Keith we saw in 2016, 2017. Can he be that again? I don't know, because he was training at such a high level even then. I think now he kind of coasts himself through training, keep himself healthy and fit and things like that. So I don't know. I think we'll see, man. I don't know what grade I can give Keith now. I don't know if I can't imagine he's an A+ fighter the way he used to be. I can imagine him being a B+ fighter now. I think even a B+, B- fighter beats Jarvis. Does that beat Zoo? I don't know.
I think Brock is able to make adjustments on the fly in a fight, especially without his trainer in it.
Most fighters aren't. Most fighters, you kind of are who you are. If you haven't seen Brock make adjustments to this point, don't expect him to make adjustments now. That's just not a part of his nature. That's not who he is. So I think I think that's a bad game plan to come in and kind of, we'll see what he's presenting us and we'll go from there. I don't like it.
Shawn, you've been in there with Keith.
Long time ago.
We know him as obviously a really, really good boxer, but he can crack, and a lot of people probably don't acknowledge that. Can you just talk about his power and even more so his delivery system of that power?
Oh man, that's the kind of the key for Keith. It's his delivery. He's always been kind of a wide puncher, and with that wide punch, that wide technique, he brings his whole body into the rhythm and technique of the punch, which I think is. I saw Keith knocking guys out when we were 15, 16 years old. The power that he has is real. I think we saw it kind of fade away at 147 pounds. I think a lot like me, he just kind of became more of a boxer and more of a point fighter. I wasn't really trying to be a point fighter. I was trying to be fast. And I think now at 54, I think we'll see that power come back as it used to be.
Tim Zoo, Joey Spencer.
Man, I think it's a fight that's right on time for both those guys. Joey's been out of the ring for a little while. I think he's had some quiet comeback fights. Great challenge. Those guys, they fight a lot alike. So it's a really good challenge for him. And I think that fight could kind of go like, not the Harrison fight. Who was that? Mendoza fight. I think that one could kind of go like the Mendoza fight. He's sitting back there winking at me like he's the guy now all of a sudden. Yeah, I think it could kind of go like the Mendoza fight, where they're on the same level, but Tim just kind of pulls away. We'll see. Thank y'all. See y'all later.